Here we go. If we can get this mast standing up straight, this battered old sailboat will be ready to set sail once again. Unfortunately, looking at its current condition, the boat is completely helpless and stuck in a rut. Luckily, it crossed paths with the master restorer in this video, the Frick from France, who is already starting the tear down. So, this 1950s wooden sailboat model, crafted by the famous French manufacturer Tirot, is about to get a second chance at life. Founded in 1946, Tirot is one of France's most iconic wooden toy brands. They specialize in handcrafting models from natural woods like beech and pine, meticulously scaled to real ships, and the boat we're restoring today is one of their signature pieces. During the tear down, you can clearly see this model has a complete keel, hull, and mast structure, with perfectly calculated counterweights. Just place it in the water, and it can sail on wind power alone. Its center of buoyancy, stability, and keel weight flawlessly meet all real sailing requirements. After clearing out the residual sawdust from the bottom of the hull, the initial tear down is officially wrapped up. Next, he uses a paint stripper spray on the hull, which doesn't just melt the paint directly, but deeply penetrates the film first. It breaks down the resin's mesh structure, causing the hard paint to swell and wrinkle until it loses adhesion, making it incredibly easy to scrape right off. However, since wood is naturally porous, some paint inevitably seeps deep inside, requiring traditional sanding to achieve a truly clean, stripped surface. Additionally, the grooves at the bottom of the hull and the keel's mounting contact points need to be carefully cleaned and reshaped with a blade. Instead of reusing the old iron nails, he glues the hull and keel together using white latex, then applies professional wood filler to seamlessly patch up any ugly gaps and holes. With the exterior issues resolved, he moves on to sandblasting the interior using black aluminum oxide grit to ensure a thorough cleaning. Moving onto the deck, its current condition is just too rough, so he decides to craft a brand new one by marking the dimensions and cutting out the rough outline. He temporarily secures the new board to the hull using hot melt glue, allowing him to precisely refine its geometric dimensions. Now perfectly sized, he uses a heat gun to separate the deck again to carve in the intricate plank lines for that authentic finish. Surprisingly, he uses a small file to manually grind out the lines instead of cutting them, though relying entirely on this tedious manual method is likely just for show. Achieving true precision typically requires machinery. The resulting sawdust powder can then be mixed directly with epoxy resin to create a perfectly color-matched adhesive paste. Once the deck is finished, he preps the hull with a filler primer that boosts top-coat adhesion, flawlessly fills minor surface imperfections, and creates a perfectly smooth base after sanding. For the top coat, he opts for a classic maritime color palette of red, black, and yellow, which is a very traditional combination. These colors aren't randomly chosen. The red stems from early copper oxide anti-fouling bottom paint. The black represents standard protective marine paint. And that delicate yellow pinstripe actually marks the boat's waterline. After the paint is fully dried, he meticulously sands and polishes the top coat to elevate its overall quality to the next level. With the paint job complete, he focuses on these three small parts, staining them a rich dark walnut to achieve a charming vintage aesthetic. He applies a protective finish that enhances the retro vibe, then finally secures them to their designated spots on the deck using epoxy resin. As for this large cup of linseed oil, wiping it generously across the deck allows it to deeply penetrate the wood fibers, creating a flexible and highly durable protective layer. These two oval components are the ballast weights that mount to both sides of the keel. Together, they are the absolute key to keeping the boat sailing smoothly without capsizing. Known as the keel counterweight, this heavy system forcefully pushes the boat's center of gravity beneath the waterline, generating a strong riding moment that keeps it incredibly stable. Simultaneously, much like an airplane's tail wing, it slices through the water to resist sideways drift, ensuring wind power is directly converted into forward momentum. Meanwhile, these brass portholes undergo an acetic acid rust removal and a brilliant polish before being carefully reassembled. Next up is this severely warped mast base, which just needs some quick shape correction and polishing before it can be reinstalled. Now looking at these twisted and badly bent spars and booms, there's absolutely no doubt that completely new ones must be crafted from scratch. After cutting them to length, he drills the mounting and rigging holes, hilariously repurposing what looks like a simple paperclip or SIM card tool to get the job done. Additionally, the bottom anchor point is secured using a solid brass nail to ensure everything stays firmly in place. Once the mast is up, he drives two brass thumbtacks into the sides of the deck to act as cleats, allowing him to weave fresh rigging lines and securely tie everything down. With the mast secured, he moves on to these two triangular sails, which are structurally sound but just need a deep, thorough clean in the ultrasonic bath. After washing, he carefully repaints the heavily faded 501 Seagull logo back onto the fabric to restore its original glory. The largest piece bearing this Seagull logo is the mainsail, responsible for capturing most of the wind energy and acting as the vessel's primary power source. As wind flows over it, a pressure difference forms on both sides, generating aerodynamic lift like an airplane wing that transfers through the mast to continuously propel the boat forward. Meanwhile, the smaller jib sail at the front doesn't provide as much raw thrust, but it crucially optimizes airflow around the mainsail to boost overall aerodynamic efficiency. Working in perfect harmony, they allow the boat to sail much faster, smoother, and even tack directly upwind. Finally, with both sails rigged and ready, this stunning 1950s French wooden sailboat model is officially restored to perfection. Let's take a quick look back at its rough condition before the restoration, followed by a live demonstration out on the water. As always, how would you rate this incredible transformation? That wraps up today's restoration video. Time really flies when you're having fun, so a massive thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!